Have you ever stood at the edge of a dream so big it felt impossible to even begin? Maybe it was starting a business, changing your life, or breaking free from a cycle that held you back. The truth is, every mountain, no matter how high, is climbed the same way, one step at a time. And today, I want to remind you that your first step matters more than your perfect plan. Step 1, the power of starting. There is a hidden power in beginnings that most people never realize because they never allow themselves to begin. They stand at the edge of their dream, staring at it from a distance, calculating, doubting, hesitating, and in that hesitation, the days slip into weeks and the weeks slip into years. The truth is that no dream comes alive until you decide to move toward it. The power of starting is not in how grand or how perfect your first step looks. It is in the fact that you dared to take it at all. That first action breaks the chain of fear. It cracks the shell of doubt, and it awakens the momentum that has been waiting inside you all along. Every great achievement in history began not with a giant leap, but with a small, almost ordinary beginning. A writer begins with one sentence. A runner begins with one stride. A business owner begins with one phone call, one idea, one risk. It is not the size of that first step that matters, but the courage it represents. Because once you step forward, you set something powerful in motion. The universe itself seems to open pathways that you could not see while standing still. When you start, you are telling life, I am ready. You are declaring that your vision matters, that your calling is real, and that you are no longer willing to sit quietly on the sidelines. Beginning may feel fragile, it may feel uncertain, but it carries within it the seed of transformation. You will never have the perfect plan, you will never know every obstacle in advance, and you will never feel completely prepared. But once you start, you gain clarity, you build strength, and you invite opportunities that only reveal themselves to those who dare to move. Step 2, overcoming fear of the first step. Fear has a way of magnifying the beginning. It makes the first step look heavier than it really is, the road longer than it truly will be, and the obstacles larger than they actually are. Standing still, your mind creates 1,000 scenarios of failure before you have even tried. It tells you that you are not ready, not qualified, not strong enough. And so you wait. You wait for confidence to arrive, for fear to disappear, for certainty to appear out of nowhere. But fear never vanishes on its own. It is defeated only by movement. The first step is always the hardest because it challenges everything fear whispers. It is a direct confrontation with the voice that says, what if you fail? And yet what fear hides from you is the greater question, what if you succeed? That step is not about finishing the journey. It is about proving to yourself that you can move, that you can act, that you can do something today that your yesterday self never thought possible. Once you move, the weight of hesitation falls away, and courage begins to grow in its place. Think of the countless people who never began. Their dreams still sit locked inside their hearts because they allowed fear to convince them that safety was better than risk. But safety never builds a life of meaning. The only way to reduce fear is to act in the very presence of it. Action shrinks fear. Action exposes it for what it really is, a shadow, not a substance. That is why the first step matters so deeply. It is the moment you prove that fear does not have the final say. Step 3, consistency over intensity. There is a great illusion many people fall into when they pursue their goals. They believe that success is born out of one great burst of effort, one dramatic action, or one extraordinary moment of inspiration. They think change happens in a single weekend, in a single project, in a single leap. But life doesn't work that way. True progress, the kind that lasts, is never built on intensity alone. It is built on consistency. The small, steady actions you repeat day after day carry more power than any short-lived explosion of energy. Intensity is exciting, but it fades quickly. Anyone can run fast for a moment, but not everyone can keep walking steadily for a lifetime. Anyone can promise to change everything overnight, but not everyone can commit to the daily disciplines that make that change real. Consistency may not always look glamorous, but it is the quiet force that turns ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Each step repeated faithfully builds strength, builds character, and builds results. When you choose consistency, you are making a declaration. I will show up even when I don't feel like it. I will take another step, even when the progress looks small. I will keep moving, even when no one is watching. That choice creates a rhythm that compounds over time. It teaches you patience, it gives you endurance, and it allows your dream to grow roots so deep that no storm can easily shake them. Intensity creates moments. Consistency creates momentum. And it is momentum, not mere moments, that carries you through the long journey. One day of effort can inspire you, but a lifetime of steady effort transforms you. That is the quiet power of choosing consistency over intensity. Step 4, faith in the process. One of the greatest challenges in any journey is not just taking the first step, but continuing to walk when you cannot yet see the destination. We live in a world that demands instant results, instant success, instant recognition, and when those do not appear quickly, discouragement creeps in. But real growth, real transformation, and real achievement require patience. They demand that you keep moving even when the outcome is still hidden. That is where faith in the process becomes your greatest ally. Faith in the process means trusting that each step, no matter how small, is carrying you forward. It means believing that the effort you make today, even if it looks insignificant, will add up to something far greater than you can yet imagine. Seeds planted do not break the soil overnight, but that does not mean growth isn't happening beneath the surface. In the same way, your discipline, your consistency, your struggles, and even your setbacks are all shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for the moment when results finally bloom. Too often, people give up in the middle. They quit because they cannot see immediate proof that their work matters. But the truth is, progress is rarely visible at first. The process is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Faith teaches you to trust the unseen, to hold on when it feels like nothing is happening, to keep pressing forward because the journey itself is building something in you that is just as important as the goal. Faith in the process is about surrendering control over the timing while never surrendering your effort. It is about believing that as long as you keep moving, life has a way of opening doors, shaping paths, and rewarding those who endure with unwavering trust. Step 5, courage to continue. Starting a journey is brave, but continuing that journey when the road grows difficult, that is where true courage is revealed. Anyone can take the first step when the excitement is fresh, when the dream feels new, and the energy is high. But as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, the path will inevitably bring challenges. There will be disappointments, delays, and even moments of failure that make you question whether it's worth it. And it is in those very moments that courage is no longer an idea, but a choice you must make again and again. Courage to continue is not about never feeling tired, never feeling doubtful, or never stumbling. It is about refusing to allow those feelings to dictate your direction. It is about standing up when you fall, reminding yourself why you began, and pressing forward even with trembling steps. The people who reach their destination are not always the strongest or the most talented. They are the ones who decided day after day not to give up when giving up seemed easier. This kind of courage is built in the silence of persistence. It is found in the moments no one applauds, no one notices, and no one celebrates you. It is when you continue, not because of the applause, but because of the vision burning inside of you. Every great achievement in history carries within it countless unseen battles, nights of doubt, mornings of resistance, and seasons of difficulty where continuing felt almost impossible. Yet those who dared to take just one more step, and then another, discovered strength they didn't know they had. The courage to continue is the bridge between the dream and its fulfillment, between intention and achievement, between what could have been and what finally becomes. Step 6, celebrating progress. One of the most overlooked parts of any journey is the importance of pausing to acknowledge how far you've come. Too often, people dismiss their progress because they measure themselves only against the final destination. They look at how far they still have to go, and in doing so, they blind themselves to the victories already won. But progress, no matter how small, deserves recognition. Every step forward is proof that you are not where you used to be, and that in itself is worth celebrating. Celebrating progress does not mean you have finished the journey. It means you honor the fact that you are in motion. The danger of waiting until the very end to acknowledge success is that you rob yourself of the encouragement that sustains you in the middle. Small wins matter. They build confidence, they spark motivation, and they remind you that your effort is paying off, even if the results are still unfolding. When you take a moment to celebrate, you fuel the very strength you need to keep going. Progress is often invisible in the moment because growth happens gradually. But when you look back and see that you've taken 10 steps, 100 steps, or even 1,000, you begin to understand that the journey is not just about arriving, it is about becoming. Each step has changed you, strengthened you, and shaped you into someone more resilient than before. And recognizing that transformation gives meaning to the struggles that tried to hold you back. Celebration is not pride, it is gratitude. It is a way of saying, I may not be where I want to be yet, but thank God I am not where I was. That perspective turns frustration into fuel and allows you to keep moving forward with renewed spirit. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles doesn't demand perfection, it simply demands that you begin and that you keep moving. Your future is waiting for the steps you choose to take today.